Recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield to the distinguished gentleman from New York who, for 28 years, has served his fine constituents for 4 minutes.
The gentleman from New York is recognized for 4 minutes.
I thank the gentleman. Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition to H.R. 7120. The brutal murder of George Floyd and the protests and demonstrations since then highlight the racial issues which still afflict our nation and which deserve thoughtful discussion and debate. I want to use my time today, though, to reject the premise of systemic police racism, which is the genesis of today's legislation. I say the opposite. No one has done more to protect all lives than the police. Take New York City, where thousands of protesters have regularly taken to the streets to demonstrate against the NYPD, even though in the past 25 years, the policies and actions of the NYPD have literally saved tens of thousands of lives of people of color. The city has gone from 2,000 murders a year, with the great majority of them being African American, to less than 300. Last year, NYPD officers fired their weapon 35 times. That's 35 times in a police force of 36,000 in a city of more than 8 million and millions more commuters and tourists. 5 African Americans were killed by the NYPD in the entire year, 4 of whom had a gun or knife. Now, nationally, and you won't hear this on the House floor from the other side today, nationally, more whites are killed by police than African Americans each year, both in total numbers and in proportion to their encounters with police. Supporting this legislation, which targets the police, might make people feel better about themselves in the short run, but would result in more crime and murder in the minority communities which already suffer from inadequate health care, housing, and educational opportunity. Just in the past month, we have seen shootings increase dramatically in cities such as Chicago and New York, where shootings are at the highest level in almost 25 years. It's time to be honest. It is not a peaceful protest when businesses are wrecked and looted, when rocks and bricks and Molotov cocktails are thrown at cops, and more than 300 police officers are injured, as we are seeing right now in New York. No, police are not perfect. None of us are, that's for sure, but they do outstanding work. Just last month, this House, under Democratic leadership, passed the HEROES Act, recognizing the great work of the police in combating COVID-19, how things change in 1 month. My father was in the NYPD for more than 30 years. I've been to too many wakes and funerals of cops who have made the ultimate sacrifice, laying down their lives for others. Police deserve more than this legislation, which targets them for society's ills. It is time to stand with the men and women in blue who put their lives on the line for us, all the rest of us, every day of the year. I strongly urge a no vote and yield back the balance of my time.